Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. Today we're going to do a quick video on the proper orientation of these gas struts on the Bushwhacker galley. I've had the opportunity to see thousands of these trailers. Between the Facebook group and this channel and people reaching out, I've seen many pictures of the Bushwhacker trailers that have been sold over the last 2 years. The position of these struts has been completely random. It seems like every other one I see has the gas strut going a different way. Now, I've learned a little bit more about these gas struts than I knew when I bought this trailer, so I'm going to share it with you today, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to flip these if you got a trailer like mine that had them in the wrong orientation. So let's check it out. So until I can recruit a camera person, I'm shooting off the tripod today, so I'll make this as clear as I'm able. But basically, you have a piston over cylinder style of installation, and you have a cylinder over piston style application. This is how my trailer came. Now, when I put out a video reviewing my trailer, Tony Latham, I think I'm saying his name right, he's the guy who literally wrote the book, How to Build a Teardrop Trailer. He's an enthusiast like the rest of us, obviously. He stumbled across the channel and reached out and said, hey, you might want to change this to this. And the reason why is this lubricant actually weeps, and it uses gravity to do that, to keep the piston lubricated. Now, I had never heard this before, but I did know that my trailer had a different orientation than every other application of a gas strut that I've ever seen. So initially I had a few reservations. I just had some worry that maybe I couldn't reverse these and that they wouldn't fit properly. But recently I have changed them to every possible orientation and used the galley door a lot. I used it in the rain, I used it in the sun, I brought it on the road and traveled with it. And there is no measurement consequence. These are reversible and they fit the same. So I'm gonna take Tony's advice, which also lines up with what I'm reading on the internet, that this is a superior application for these struts. So it's as simple, if you had the style like I did, of flipping these around, and you're gonna have a system that lasts a lot longer. Now, these things are breaking way more than we like to see. I'm reading about Bushwhacker owners daily having issues with these gas struts. Sometimes they break altogether. Sometimes the mounting brackets are what come off. So we'll talk about those things today as well, but right now I'm going to show you how to flip these things around. So the first thing I did was I propped the galley door up with a 2x4 that I found. Take your time, be safe, there's nothing special about this. If you have a tall partner here that can hold the door for you, that's gonna work just as well. Now I'll show you how to pull the clip on this piston to remove it really easily. So the strut comes off like this. It's really a simple job to remove it. You see I scratched my clips up quite a bit, and that's okay with me. You can take your time. I'm using a Leatherman because I'm out in the woods. Sometimes you can pinch the bracket and pull it out. It's like spring loaded. Sometimes you can get a screwdriver or even one end of a needle nose underneath that, and all you have to do is relieve the pressure, and this pops right off the mounting brackets on the trailer. Now it's as simple as turning it around and just snapping it on. and the job is done. So now with the gas struts and the proper orientation, we're going to get better lubrication, and these are going to last longer. It does feel like they work a little better this way, but it might all just be in my head. So I'm not promising any results here. But according to the science of how these work, this is a superior way to have these installed. Now there's a few other issues that people are having, so I want to address those as quickly as possible, and then we will sign off for today. So every time I talk to somebody who experiences a failure on their Bushwhacker galley door, I like to ask them a few questions because I want to see how these things are breaking. A lot of people report that they open up the door and it comes down on top of their head. Now there's really 2 or 3 different ways that this is happening. One is a separation of the piston, separation of the gas strut, and that's because this is a cheap gas strut and we can replace these with higher quality products. But most of the time, this bottom bracket and this top bracket are actually being pulled out. The screws are being pulled out of where they're fastened into. For that reason, every time I use this thing, every time I go camping, I try to give a good shake to each one of these to see if they're loosening up. Now, Braxton Creek has sent people larger screws to replace these with, but I have met Bushwhacker owners that have completely hogged out and stripped the area where they screw these brackets in. So stay on top of this. Make sure that these 2 brackets are not loosening up. As far as the gas cylinder separating, I'm going to show you how to prevent that right now. When you're opening the galley door on your Bushwhacker, take your time and make sure you assist it with your hands until it's reached its highest position. This is really important. Do not allow the galley to bounce and pull on the mounting brackets and the integrity of the gas strut. You want to physically assist this entire lift. Now, if you don't have the height to do this, a lot of people are putting a leash or a string around the locking handle on the galley door so that they can use the string to allow it to go to its final position. This is really, really important. Most of the breakdown on these, whether it's the brackets or the strut, is coming from the repeated bouncing that goes on with this door. Now, I mentioned earlier that it might just be in my head, but in the other orientation, I was certain that this was going up faster. It does seem like the galley door is lifting softer and slower than it did before I made this adjustment. So maybe check it out for yourself. Okay, folks, I hope this helped out. Please send me feedback. Let me know how this project went for you and if your Bushwhacker came with the upside down orientation. If you have switched to a higher quality gas strut, please shoot me a line. Leave me a comment letting me know what gas strut works best in these applications. I know these things are cheap and I'd like to upgrade mine, so you could help me out and I'll spread the word through the channel. Check out the links in the description. Tony seems to be a great guy and the book is excellent. And as always, I will see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.